Uganda Internal Affairs. My name is Bashasha Willis. I'm the Director Manifesto here at the Presidency, and on behalf of the Presidency that supervises the monitoring of the implementation of the manifesto, I take pleasure to welcome you all and thank you for coming. Before I proceed, Honorable Minister, allow me to introduce to you the team I work with here. I have Mr. Richard Bakoja, who is Assistant Director at the unit. I have Gloria Mwenge, who is a Principal Administrator at the unit. I have Gilbert Onono, who is a Principal Economist at the unit, and other technical staff whom I think are busy with other arrangements. Honorable Minister, I don't need to take you through the history because this paper came to Cabinet as far as this activity is concerned, and we want to thank you for being supportive on the discussion that day. We are hosting this activity jointly with the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. I also want to request the technical team from ICT and National Guidance, if here you could stand up for recognition. Those are representing the PS and the rest of the team. It's not a baraza, it's not a rally, so we are using technology as a medium in as far as the dissemination of the information is concerned. As we are here, the local leadership at local governments, they are also engaged in their various ways, various forums, in also disseminating the disaggregated information that we receive from here to also for the citizens within the area of jurisdiction to appreciate how far we have gone with the manifesto. The Ministry of Internal Affairs plays a very key role because it complements the national security program and agenda, but it also plays another role. So in doing that, the thematic area of creating jobs and wealth is premised on the foundation that the country is stable and secure. We also know you have a role you play in other thematic areas of and justice, the integration agenda. We will be listening to you. So, fellow citizens, wherever you are, this afternoon we are privileged to host the team from Ministry of Internal Affairs, which will be sharing with us the status of the journey of the manifesto of 2021-2026. Without much ado, Honorable Minister, I invite you to come here in the country by sharing with us the status of how far we have gone on this journey leading your team. After your presentation, Honorable Minister, we will have observations from our unit, which does the monitoring, and then we'll invite the media to raise a few, not a few, but observations or comments or gratitude, whatever it will be, Honorable Minister, for your attention. And you are also pleasure technical teams to support you in the responses where the expertise. I know you bless the country, Honorable Minister. I thank you. Honorable Minister.
Use this. It's a short.
Okay. No, use this one. This is no. It's okay. To repeat.
The Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahinda Utafire, the Permanent Secretary, Lieutenant Msanyifu, leaders of the agencies and MDAs under Ministry of Internal Affairs in their respective capacities, the Manifesto team of President's Office under the Director, media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. With the permission of the Honorable Minister, I'll proceed to present the Manifesto Implementation Report. Our mandates, and then how we are organized, and the agencies under our ministry, the report on implementation, and commitments. This is a 26th report. They've strived to condense things the same. With the mandate of the ministry, the internal affairs is to ensure and maintain internal security, peace and stability in Uganda, where the citizens are protected and their safety is preserved. Strategic objectives: 1, to ensure and maintain internal security; 2, to deliver human rights-based law and order services; 3, to secure, preserve and protect Uganda's citizenship and identity; and 4, strengthen institutional development, governance and policy formulation within the ministry. The structure, how we are task organized, and the agency ministry. The ministry comprises of various autonomous and semi-autonomous agencies whose functions complement each other, and these include the Uganda Prison Service, the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control, the National Identification and Registration Authority, the Directorate of Government Analytical Laboratories, DIGAL, and then the Ministry of Internal Affairs headquarters itself, under which we have the following: General Administration and Support Services, the Amnesty Commission, the Directorate of Community Service, National Bureau for Non-Governmental Organizations, Focal Point on Small Arms and Light Weapons and Conflict, Coordination Office for Anti-Human Trafficking, and Government Security Office. The report of the commitments in the Manifesto 2021-2026. Introduction. The Manifesto spells out commitments for our docket to fulfill within 5 years, namely 21 to 26, and I want to report through my minister that efforts have been made in fulfillment of these commitments, as will be elaborated in the report. These commitments in the manifesto are summarized as follows. 1. Manifesto commitment regarding protecting life and property. And this includes guaranteeing the security of persons and property, installing closed-circuit television cameras in the city and along the highways. 3, creating a people force, meaning the police force, that is well trained to handle civilians and continue equipping the police, especially in forensic investigations, to improve on the fight against crime. 4, continue improving on the welfare of both the police and the UPDF. This was streamed with the police because of being part of Directive number 13 of the President, which he gave way back in 2018 to solve the problem of especially staff accommodation, education, and economic empowerment of the spouses of service personnel. 5, introduce timelines in which certain services are delivered, especially application for land titles, passports, driving permits, and trading licenses. Some of these fall under various ministries, but we hold the primary identity documents to ensure that people apply for these in record time. 6, improve the police to population ratio that is now at 1 to 800 against a target of 1 to 500 people. Manifesto Commitment 2 regarding law and order. The NRM shall continue to entrench the rule of law and ensure stability and security for all Ugandans. 2, learning from the COVID-19 experience, we shall exploit processes for remote online adjudication of cases. 3, under the reform of business processes, develop sector-wide integration for information sharing, starting with critical institutions such as NIRA and frontline justice law and order sector JILOS services. 4, complete automation of the processes for issuing work permits, visas, special passes, and passes, upgrade to a full border system. Number 5, under the national justice and the this provides the work for completing rehabilitation and reconciliation of conflict communities, creating greater peace and stability, which is conducive for economic growth. The ministry's contribution to the achievement of these commitments is assessed through examination of the outputs of the various agencies under the ministry in relation to their respective mandates using a thematic approach. Internal security, peace, and stability. The constitutional mandate of the Uganda Police Force under Articles 211 to 214 is to 1, protect life and property, 2, preserve law and order, 3, detect and prevent crime, 4, cooperate with the civilian authority and other security organs established under this constitution and population generally. General security situation. During the period under review, the country has generally continued to enjoy peace and from border to border. Police, with the support of sister agencies, security agencies, has been able to deal with the threat of terrorism and gun crime, during which a number of ADF terror cells have been dismantled and criminal gangs busted. Peace, security, and stability are the sine qua non for socio-economic transformation and prosperity for the country. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, through its agencies, has implemented numerous consolidative measures to enhance the capacity to detect, prevent, and effectively respond to crime in the country. Crime situation. We registered a reduction in annual crime rates, ACR, from 524 to 501 per 100 people in the population between 2022 and 2023. There was also a 1.5 reduction in the volume of crime from 231,053 cases in 2022 to 200 cases in 2023. This is illustration in a graph that is on paper, which I think we'll have time to refer to. Crime in the country indicate cases registered annually since July from 228, 74 cases, posting a crime rate of 501 per 100,000 people. This is partly attributed to enhanced coordination of internal security and provision of advisory services, joint initiatives with the sister security agencies, reorganization of the improved methods and increased cooperation of police with the population. The office of the DPP, the judiciary and other partners within the criminal justice system, and strategic partnerships with the community. Situation of custodial services. As of 27th June 2024, Uganda Prison Service had in custody 79,561 prisoners, comprising of 51.5% convicted prisoners and 47.8% remands, as shown in the table below. We have category, we have sex, we have the totals and the percentages. In the category of convicts, we had 39,043 males, and then we had 1,925 females. The total was 40,968. That is recording an average of 51.5%. Remands, we had 36,220 males, 1,786 females, the total being 38,006, average being 47.8%. Datas, these ones are recorded separately. We had 440 male, 147 female. We had a total of 587 datas, recording a percentage of 0.7%. So in terms of sex, males were 75,703, females were 3,858 of all the categories, and the totals together 79,161. There's more inclination to crime on the male side than the female side. Of the 40,968 convicted prisoners, 42.2% were serving short-term sentences below 3 years imprisonment, while 56.8% are serving long of over 3 years imprisonment, and 1% undetermined. Meaning the sentences are not determined. 46.2% of the total prisoners in custody were charged of capital offenses, while 53.1% are charged of petty offenses. As presidential directives issued to the security of June 2018, during the presidential address to Parliament, the following were the achievements registered this far. Fingerprinting of guns. The gun fingerprinting exercise commenced in September 2018, and as of November 2024, 92.2% of all legally issued firearms to police, prisons, private security, and privately owned firearms have been fingerprinted using the Integrated Ballistics Information System, IBIS. Vital forensic intelligence has been derived from IBIS to support investigations of firearms-related offenses, with 521 firearms to 143 gun-related incidents. Establishment of a modern forensic laboratory. The NRM government has invested in the development of forensic capacity, including the establishment of a DNA laboratory, a toxicology laboratory, a digital forensic the force. These laboratories have enabled the country to conduct a wide range of forensic testing, DNA analysis, toxicology, of forensic technologies and equipment in forensic science through the government contract with SMS Construction to construct the National DNA Data Bank building infrastructure, which is a multi-year. It is phased over 5 years in the NP 4 intelligence and investigations not only solve the identification and security, but also before evidence is obtained, to reduce the costs of feeding the suspects in custody. National CCTV. The National CCTV project continues to play a vital role in curbing crime. The National CCTV project has facilitated the detection of crime and aided criminal traffic investigations. Out of 1,000 cases handled by CCTV, there have been convictions in 316 cases, and 96 are undergoing trial with the aid of CCTV analysis reports. However, there is need for periodic maintenance to improve footage, longevity, and reduce cameras. There's also need to implement phase 3 to fill the existing gaps within a Kampala metropolitan area and other areas across the country. And the ministry is developing more activities to tap into the potential for private CCTV cameras by interfacing them with the national grid to enhance CCTV coverage in the country. Other incentives proposed include waiving taxes on cameras to make them easily available and affordable to the public. Deployment of police and LDUs in industrial parks and factories. In order to combat crime in industrial parks and factories, a number of officers and LDUs were deployed, which has assured the investors of the security of their investments and restored security, which was too threatened. That time, you remember, when business entities were under attack, this measure helped to prevent the bad people who had made it a habit to attack factories and industries. Tour of duty change for personnel from all respective places, especially at borders. Applied with this presidential directive to rotate out staff that had served for more than 3 years in border stations in order to curb corrupt tendencies and improve service delivery. When people delay in one station for a long time, they become complacent. So this move was made to ensure that people remain vigilant, accountable, and professional. Security of the tourism sector. Police developed and issued SOPs for the protection of national parks, game reserves, and other recreational centers in order to promote the security of tourists, wildlife, and the surrounding communities. Besides, the tourism police, which is dedicated to the security of the tourism sector, is also being reinforced with more manpower and equipment to ease its work. Anti-stock theft unit, AS2 continues with the routine work of special livestock operations, disarmament operations with the UPDF code name Salama kwa Wote, and this is done alongside the UPDF and other security agencies, especially in the area of Kamoja. UPF conducted anti-stock theft operations where a total of 15,158 heads of cattle were recovered out of the 17,215. 354 warriors were put out of action. 448 rifles and 2,148 rounds of ammunition were recovered, and 13,401 suspects were arrested. in the period under review. The K9 unit increased its specialized support to US2 with explosive and tracker dogs in the 6 districts of Karamoja region to help in animal tracking during joint intelligence-led operations. Furthermore, US2 received 3 new APCs deployed in the 2 sectors of Mount Moroto and Kipo, coordinated with the police air wing for aerial support patrols and surveillance to counter cattle rustling and track suspected raided livestock in Karamoja sub-region. These measures are in support of the UPDF-led operations against cattle rustling. Institutional infrastructure and human resource capacity development and governance. The Uganda Force has done additional recruitment and training of 11,380 personnel, and this has enhanced the strength to 47,076 people at November 2024. Additionally, the refresher courses and specialized training boosted the capacity of police officers to deliver better services to the people. This capacity has enabled the police to create a relatively safer environment where the citizens are able to engage in various activities and support the socio-economic agenda of the country. At a population of 45,935,046 people, according to UBOS 2024 National Population Census, the police population ratio currently stands at 1 to 976 people. The widening ratio is attributed to the high population growth rate vis-a-vis the low growth in police strength, attrition, and numbers recruited annually. So we need to match the growth of the population to a reasonable extent in order to ensure effective service delivery. The UPF visions strives to become professional and people-centered for a safe and secure society. Human rights observance modules have been embedded in our curriculum for initial police training and refresher courses. Human rights-based approaches in policing have been incorporated in the day-to-day police operations, and human rights sensitization campaigns have also been conducted annually. In all the 29 policing regions across the country. As a result, the number of human rights complaints registered against the police have reduced from 351 in 2021 to 176 in 2023, according to the Uganda Human Rights Annual Report. This, I would say, is a remarkable improvement. The Uganda Police Force has kicked off the operationalization of the sub-policing model, and Greater Lusaka Police Region was pioneer. So far, 98 sub-county police are implementing this policing, and 288 additional sub-county police stations will be operationalized before the end of 2024. Since 2021, the force has acquired additional 420 vehicles, 1,420 motor. Still a far cry, but some good addition to the vehicle and mobility fleet of the force. This has greatly improved the capacity of the force in improving response time to emergencies within the community. As of November 2024, the fleet strength stood at 1,761 motor vehicles and 7,344 motorcycles. Prevention of trafficking in persons. The ministry is increasingly improving coordination of anti-human trafficking, of prevention of trafficking in persons, protection of victims, and supporting prosecution of perpetrators, working with various stakeholders. Since 2021, the ministry, working with stakeholders, registered 5,063 victims of human trafficking and supported 1,226 victims of trafficking with temporary feeding, accommodation, medical and transport, and supported investigation of 251 cases. The increase in the recorded number of victims could be partly attributed to improvements in reporting and enhanced awareness campaigns against trafficking in persons, among other factors. It is unfortunate to observe that trafficking of persons is mainly abated by people with influence and trust of the victims, including, unfortunately, parents. The ministry is increasingly strengthening the coordination office at the Ministry of Internal Affairs to ensure adequate monitoring, coordination, and effective over the implementation of Trafficking in Persons Act. Road safety. There was a 16% increase in common offenses registered by traffic and road safety countrywide, from 456,993 cases registered in 2022 to 528,023 cases in 2023. The number of fatal crashes increased by 30% to 4,079 in 2023 from 3,210 in 2022. Crashes increased to 12,487 in 2023 from 8,860 in 2022, and the minor crashes increased to 6,942 in 2023 from 4,577 in 2022. Whereas the full opening of the economy after COVID increased on a number of activities on the road leading to road, it is further noted that most traffic crash accidents have been caused by human factors such as careless driving, dangerous driving, and drink driving, or driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. The ministry, together with the other stakeholders, is strengthening the implementation of various strategies to reduce road accidents, including the following. 1. Strict enforcement of traffic laws and regulations through targeted operations, mainly focused on borders and other major risk factors. Building capacity of police personnel, safety challenges, special community engagement, council leaders, organizations, will also emphasize to ensure traffic and road safety decisions and evidence-based traffic investigations and decisions, and strengthen to identify traffic and aid in reorganizing and works, inspection, licensing of drivers, and speed limit enforcement, as well as education. By way of fish and it will also need to be captured for emphasis. It's one of the issues our traffic police officers, the challenges they meet. But recently, I want to report that working with the UPDF, we've been enforcing strictness and compliance, especially by the drivers of official government vehicles who have been most times offending. Monitoring and control of the NGO sector. The Ministry continues to regulate this sector through the NGO Bureau by registering NGOs, guiding and promoting the effective development of the NGO sector through progressive policies and regulations. The Ministry conducted a verification and validation of all the NGOs, which resulted into the increased levels of compliance for NGOs with the regulatory framework efficacy improving from 26.8% in 2019 to 62.4% currently. The Bureau conducts inspections of NGOs with cases involving non-compliance, fraud, misuse of funds, lack of system structures, and NGOs operating illegally. The findings of the investigations have enabled the NGO Bureau to take action against these organizations, which has gone a long way in reducing non-compliance and any criminal intentions. The Bureau embarked on the process of policy of 2010, and the policy review process was cleared by the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the risk impact assessment process was completed in the period under review. Peace building efforts. The ministry has contributed to peaceful coexistence among Ugandans through demobilizing, resettling, and reintegrating ex-combatants into their communities. Since 2021, a total of 643 ex-combatants have been demobilized and settled. Welfare of staff and officers. The ministry has focused on improving staff welfare through various ways and measures. Efforts to improve staff welfare have entailed improvements in infrastructure and housing of staff through a holistic approach to solve the staff accommodation problem in the police force, in the prison service, and in the immigration services, using a public-private partnership arrangement, and the project has been developed and is now at feasibility study. Staff housing achievements. Under Uganda Prison Service, 47% of the staff are housed. By the end of financial year 2023 to 2024, 6,594 houses had been constructed. The service targets to construct 15,000 housing units under the staff project for the police force, prison services, and DCIC to mitigate accommodation challenges. Regarding the Uganda Police, the force has constructed 29 police stations, 5 administrative blocks, 417 housing units, 7,389 units, and additionally 9 police barracks have been renovated. The capacity of the force to decentralize services to the, in addition to improving the welfare of the officers and men by providing accommodation, decent accommodation for them. Production and productivity. The Uganda Prison Service is involved in income generation activities ranging from agriculture, crop and animal husbandry, and seed production, carpentry, and tailoring. Since 2021, Prison Service has registered outputs 13,600 bales of 500 kilograms growth industry. To contribute to elimination of adult seed on the market and support local farmers. Produced 39.02 metric tons of maize grain to supplement as maize feed since financial year 2020-2021, and so far financial year 2023-24, produced food worth shillings 39 billion. Installed 2 storage facilities with the capacity of 3,000 metric tons, each at Lugore prison farms, and is expected for commissioning by end of December this month 2020. The prison has established a fully garment factory, minimum to undertake production of all prisoners and uniforms. Government expenditure in the maintenance of offenders in custody. Uganda Service is taking part in the strategic intervention of National Food and Feed Security Project, an initiative to increase food and feed security and eliminate hunger in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture. Farms at Aswa, Odina, Aloy, Pingre are part of this. The project is expected to raise the output to 100,000 metric tons of food per year. This is a commendable contribution as far as food security for the country is concerned. We have pictures which are illustrative, including one which has the Deputy Commissioner General commissioning 12 tractors under MAIF for animal feed and food intervention project at Luzira in Kampala, and one of the plantations of maize is also captured in a photograph on that same page. Duty-free shops and circles. Free shop, the success of the operations of the duty-free shop continues to be a milestone in enhancing the welfare of police officers by providing construction materials at a cheaper rate as compared to the open market prices. 12,042 officers have benefited from this scheme in the police force. In the prisons, a total of 8,100 members of staff have benefited from the duty-free materials. Besides, on circle of members and the portfolio has grown period of time as shown in the table below, and at 1.4 billion by 2021, by the 1.25. Then the loan portfolio was 0.21 billion now in 2021, and now in 2023 is 9.40, 5.3, 2021, 2023, 8. And assets 7.7 in 2021, and it was 10.67. The police exodus, on the other hand, grew from 2021 to date as follows. It has a total of 41,707 members operating with a income base of 9.48 billion, up from 6.98 billion, and a net surplus of Uganda shillings 490. Exodus issues, mostly management, which called for the intervention of an audit by the ministry, later reinforced by Parliament, and you can see in these statistics. In 2021, 25.0, in 2022, 30.6. Figures for 2020. Loan portfolio 0.40, 21, 30.2, and 50.53. Shares 2021, 944 2022, and 14.22 in 2023. And assets stood at 46.00 2021, 59 2022, and 70.76 20. No been instituted to sort out these issues completely for the court to serve its members as it was established to do. Medical services. Construction of staff hospital in Luzira is completed and due for commissioning this month. Acquisition of medical equipment is going on. It starts operations. This will complement the National Prisons Referral Hospital at Uganda Prison, Murchison Bay. On the other hand, a 300-bed hospital for treatment of police personnel. The salaries for both police officers and prison officers from their current levels started in financial 2024-25 and is ongoing as the economic situation improves. Recently there was an increment, I think, which we need to capture for the record, for the manifesto team to have in their records. We need statistics here as far as remuneration is concerned, especially the last increment and how it was distributed across the rank and file within the police and the prison services. Law and order. Under law and order, the ministry has registered a number of achievements under custody and rehabilitation of offenders and promotion of access to justice by the public through investigations and prosecution of cases by the police. Offender rehabilitation and reintegration through these programs, efforts are geared towards transformation of prisoners into responsible, law-abiding, and economically productive citizens. Consequently, recidivism rate has reduced from 15% in financial year 2020-21 to 13.9 in 2023-24 due to strengthened rehabilitation programs, including FAL, literacy and community service programs, vocational training, and other community service programs. National Community Service, as a non-custodial measure, has diverted a total of 29,107 prisoners from the prison, hence contributing to reduction in prison. In addition, Uganda Prison of Rukunjiri, prison construction of prison, fencing of Moroto prison, Soroti, Kabong, Amita, Kotido, Kibale, Palisa prisons is ongoing. Prisoners are through construction of 17 prisoners' wards is ongoing at different levels. Completed 2 in Isinjiro, 1 in 2 completed. 2 Isinjiro 1, Mukungwe 1, final finishes 9. That is Etwe, Maiha 1, Law 2, Amolata for females 1, Masaka females 1, Koboko 1, Chiganda window level 1 coach, that is 2, Lobure 2, Ubulo 1, all being handled under force on account. Promotion of access to justice. As explained earlier, the Uganda Prison Force is incrementally improving its capacity for investigation and prosecution of cases and its capacity for policing to ensure enforcement of law and order. The average population on remand of prisoners reduced from 50.6 in 2020-21 to 47.7% financial 22-23 of the total prisoners population, while the length of stay on remand reduced from 3 months to 2 months in financial year 2022-23 for petty offenders and capital offenders, reduced from 36 months in financial year 2021 to 12 months in financial year 2020-2023. Uganda Service successfully delivers a daily average of 1,841 prisoners to 269 courts countrywide, as and when required by the courts of law. The lead time for completing a forensic investigation is currently 30 days, down from 60 days in financial year 2018-2019 due to acquisition of state-of-the-art forensic equipment. And we have a table. This is now regarding citizenship, identity, preservation and protection, showing service, financial year performance, issuance of tourist visas, days takes 2, did so in 2021 and still does in 2023 to 2024. Issuance of work permits takes 10 days, took 10 days in 2021, now takes 7. There's an improvement, less by 3. Issuance of passport used to take 14 days in 2021, now takes 5. Issuance of national ID used to take 90 days, 3 months. Now it takes 1 month at a maximum. It could be less. Forensic analysis, DIGAL, used to take 60 days, now they take a month for citizens to access services. That is maximum. Still, the ministry delivers this month through its agencies, namely the National Identification Registration Authority, through creation of the National Identification Systems and provision of immigration services and identity registration services, among others. The National Identification Systems, the following have been achieved: 92 ministries, departments, agencies, and private sectors from 22 to date, 569, 690 records which are accessed. Incredible. 292,569,609 have been accessed. Registered 27 million Ugandans, 27.524 citizens, and assigned them national numbers. And these represent 59.9% of the projected national population of 9 million, according to UBOS census of 2024. Issued out 17,788,603, representing 72% national identity cards to eligible citizens who are eligible for voting of 16 years and above. Engagements and recruitment of temporary staff across the country to conduct mass enrollment of approximately 17.2 million unregistered citizens and mass renewal and upgrade of 15.8 million national ID cards issued in 2014-15, which are due to expire, was completed. The new national IDs to be issued will have more enhanced security and will be issued free. Immigration, since 2021, integrated the e-immigration system, including the e-passport system, to the URA e-payment system for a stream revenue NTR collection from immigration services, leading to increase in NTR collections from shillings 208.84 billion in financial year 2020-21 to shillings 240.99 billion in 2022-23 and shilling 336.873 billion in financial year 23 to 24. Major Achievements include the following: successful integration of the e-passport system to the National Identification Register, NIR, to facilitate citizenship verification and streamline the issuance of passports to Ugandan citizens. B, deployment of e-immigration services, e-visa, e-permit, and e-passes deployed in 21 out of the 36 Ugandan missions abroad to facilitate immigration service delivery. The newly added missions include Geneva, Rome, Copenhagen, New York, and formation of 20 gazetted border points. Enrollment centers have been decentralized to 4 regions of Mbarara, Mbale, Gulu, and Jinja. Immigration service centers have also been opened at the Uganda Investment Authority head office and at Kapeka Industrial Park Service. Eased the process of acquisition of dual citizenship immigration. Travel in up to 9A established for storage use to generate consensus. For me This policy, once finalized, will lead to the amendment of the Immigration Act. I want to mention there's a raft of laws we are put to rationalize, and these sector, and they should also be part of it, including those to do with the NGO law, including those to do with registration, among others. But also, we also passed the psychotropic substances law. I think also that one should find its place on this record for purposes of the manifesto and legislative agenda. Challenges: underfunding and budget reductions will affect the implementation of planned activities and delivery of critical services and government commitments. 2, changing dimension of crime, the level of sophistication and globalization. This requires matching resolve, dedication, and agility in law enforcement, which the government through the ministry ensures is achieved. Crime is getting more sophisticated, especially cyber crime. We need to match the pace of the wrongdoers so that we ensure that the country remains crime-free. 3, inadequate police strength, currently at a deficit of 40,480, which is exacerbated by the ban on recruitment by public service. 4, prisoners population growth. Prisoners population increases at an annual average of 8% compared to the increase in holding capacity at 2.9%, leading to congestion in prisons. So this one, we need to find innovative ways of ensuring that we match this growth through non-custodial sentences, through community services, as sentences, among others. 5, limited investigative capacity resulting in case backlog. This affects investigations, which leads to increase in the remand period and prisoner population growth. Reforms are being undertaken at CID in conjunction with DPP and the courts to address this. But also regarding the backlog prisoner population, I think we need to expedite case management through, among others, use of technology, especially where we can, and also to offset costs of taking prisoners to court using means to carry out trials. That one, I think, needs also to find a place in with problems of conflict and instability, as well as issues of the Turkana Pokot challenges from Kenya and others from South Sudan, taking advantage of the cross-border criminal activities. Inadequate infrastructure, accommodation, office, and other non-residential infrastructure. NERA offices Kololo with the attendant disruptions of business. Those are also the official ceremonial grounds for government. A new NERA home is being sought to offset this challenge. Inadequate staff for delivery of Ministry of Internal Affairs services. The overall structure of the ministry is filled to only 55%, with institutions like the police, prisons, NERA, and headquarters filled to as low as 23%. Custodial staff uniform to prisoner ratio is 1:7 against the standard of 1:3 prisoners, while police population ratio is 1:934 against an ideal of 1:500 persons. Continuous use of registration equipment, whereas efforts are being made to improve efficiency and turnaround time. NERA has encountered challenges with aged equipment such as the registration kits that have served beyond their lifespan, as well as the national identification production line that requires regular maintenance and is operating below capacity. But this one, I want the intended upcoming equipment to ease NERA operations. Commitments in the next 2 years: strengthen the capacity of crime, infrastructure development, staff accommodations, sub-county police stations, at least 1 regional mini-max prison and 3 low security prisons per year, national office infrastructure as well as production infrastructure. B, complete installation of CCTV surveillance systems in phase 3. C, fingerprinting of all firearms should continue. Acquisition of assorted ICT and security equipment. E, recruitment and capacity building training to match the police to population ratio of 1:5 and prisoner staff ratio of 1.3 prisoners. Registration of all citizens into the National Identification Register and issuance of national identity cards to all eligible citizens. Completion and maintenance of a functional national identification register built on the national identification system, strengthening the capacity for the regulation of NGOs, provision of efficient and credible citizenship and migration services, building national identification systems, national DNA data bank, national criminal data bank, offender identification and management systems, national security information systems, complete surveillance systems. 7, enhance the use of community service as a non-custodial alternative to reduce prisoner population and congestion. And then strengthen border management, complete automation of migration processes and services, undertake research, business processes improvement, and IC-based innovations. 10, welfare improvement of all personnel under the peace and security dockets of the ministry. 11, and production of productivity of the ministry, production enterprises aimed at self-sufficiency, food security, contribution to national development through the parish development model and the local textile industries, and generation of non-tax revenue. And 12, infrastructure development and equipment. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Internal Affairs is fully committed to guaranteeing a peaceful, secure, and stable Uganda. The ministry has effectively delivered on its mission in the period under review. Constraints notwithstanding, constraints are no excuse for work. Even with the limited means, we've done the best to ensure the country remains stable. Means allowing, we shall certainly ensure the achievement of all the ends we seek through the ways we enumerated in order for our country to be stable, to promote prosperity and socio-economic transformation. I beg to submit for God and my country. Which has the implementation of the NRM Manifesto 2026 commitments. It will also be attached to the report.
Please put our hands together. Close to this very insightful and elaborate presentation. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Honorable Minister of State and your team for sharing with Ugandans and those who are viewing us on the status of manifesto achievements within the area that you are managing. I want now to make observations from the the monitoring unit before I invite the media also to make their issues to you. First of all, on behalf of the unit, we want to congratulate you for the different initiatives and interventions that have been put in place in fulfillment of your mandate, but most important, in fulfillment of the different commitments that were put in place, that had been proposed to make Ugandans move into the journey of socio-economic transformation. We want to identify with some of the achievements that have been mentioned here, and like you rightly said, some could be structural, some could be beyond your control because of the performance of the economy. But as you said, we continue looking forward to making sure that the ministry is supported so that it can be able to deliver on its mandate. We want to appreciate the contributions which are part of the investments that have been made to the general national security infrastructure, which I said, with security, this is the bedrock of development. Most of the achievements that are made here is
how much?
Honorable Minister, the police body is free.
The reason as to why I posed that question.
He has said police bond is free. Anybody trying to give money is extorted and criminal. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Felix Soketra from Felix News, an online media. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I'm interested. There's a plan by government to say land. What the secretary is land. Secondly, the number of NGOs that just allocated. What do you attribute the number? And secondly, does the NGO sector still is the NGO sector still relevant to this country?
So what else do you You said there is a blood sale of your land. Who was saying? And who's buying it? And for how much? Who is selling is there a land? Who is buying and for how much? You have an answer? What I know is that Muzira prison was in 1923. When that prison is built, and I want you to be there, when that prison was built, the precincts of Kampala was sent as people here. Muzira was isolated. It was ideal for prison. Right now, that prison constellation is surrounded by the population. You cannot have a maximum security institution in the midst of the population. Because to maintain those in our custody, you use force of arms and lethal equipment. We are lucky, we look at this day, where they want to use their willingness of weapons. Because we see the bullet between somebody's bedroom, bathroom, taxi, border. It's mad for anybody to imagine that that percentage of people is the main in that place. If you don't understand, you ask questions. Those prisons have been for a capacity of about 20,000. Now we are holding there over 80,000. Are those prisons ideal for prisoners' welfare, health, and the staff officers? The plan by government is to relocate our prisons to a more convenient place, to build better and secure prisons, to build better and healthier prisons, to move elements of court to the prison, and then in exchange for that land, we get somebody who can defend us. So nobody says it's there. We are only fighting to get the prison. And we don't have the resources, physical resources to, financial resources to defend the prison. But the prison can be, the land of the prison can be evaluated. And the sum total of the land will give us another ideal prison. Better, more equipped, more available. So our plan is, if the value of the prison is more than the prison, this person brings to us, that person is actually money. If the value of the prison is less than what the then we shall have more money. We will say yes. We are relocating to the prison and building a better, more modern once it's 2 hours, healthcare, nobody saying it's there. And that's a function of the executive. It's not a function of the press or parliament. That's a function of the executive. Because if the prisoner has died as a result of what is, I take responsibility. You want to take responsibility on my back? If you want to, better break up the rules. Yeah, I'm not going to. If they see, when they see, the child is finished, I think it's okay. So this mother does no. Where the students are saying, no, these are students. These people are told, the officers are they in trouble? When in trouble, he told me, in the case of the problem, Mr. Nelson used to know that first it there, now starting reciting Duma, and talk that nothing will go wrong. No, something has to be done. And I agree, as long as that is true, to be rotated, like Utanga, you know one of the things of Paris. You recall, I said Utanga, the location of Utanga is no longer ideal for members of the team. That Utanga is no longer ideal for members of the team. It should be rotated. Because you can't have a mental, asylum, in the middle of discourse and that's wrong. Some of you, what might be sometimes they want to make what to say. That's question. Why don't you come over here around that's what happens. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. That's what we say. Thank you.
Yeah, the last two. Yeah.
Another one was?
Eh? This one was bond, the price. I think it was answered.
The second one is about the drastic number of angels that has listed and what has been recorded.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The questions are two. The first one was whether the angels are still relevant, and the second one is the equal numbers. The response to the first one is that yes, the angels are still relevant. They are complementing the government in some ways. They have the ability to go out and raise resources, they are the Brussels, and so they are still relevant, and the country is them. So this is not intended to say the angels are not relevant. The second question is about the reduction in the number. I think this is not something that is only happening in Uganda, but it's also in the region and globally. The angel sector is facing a decline when it comes to issue of funding. All of us are aware that the sector has heavily relied on foreign donations. And it's not only in Uganda, but everywhere you go, you find almost in every country over 80% of the angels are relying on foreign donations. And that poses a very huge risk to the sector and also for the angels themselves. We have seen a lot of factors that are now coming into play. First of all, the angels internally are having their internal governance issues that is making them fail either to handle the resources well document whatever donations are getting. But I'll tell you it's unfortunate that I can say only 1% of angels in this country are taking advantage of that. They are comfortable with what they are doing. And now, each time the donor is changed, it puts them at disadvantage. So, Section 46 are encouraged them that please pay attention to their sustainability, but they do not want to take it up. And we are even encouraged them. In 2015, when the Ministry of Internal Affairs reviewed the Angel Act, there was a proposal to open the basket fund for angels in this country, where the private sector and so many stakeholders, even donors, will put money and support making the indigenous angels, because the biggest difference for the indigenous angels was the majority. But the same angels rejected that fund. They say that government wanted to use it to control them, so they don't trust the intention of government. But I'll tell you that right now, just as the whole minister indicated, we're in the process of reviewing that act, and one of the key things the angels are now going to push for is that they need an asset fund now. Because at the time it was proposed that in 2015, a number of them were not trusting the intention of government. It was for their own good, but now they are seeing a factor as a part of it. So, thank you so much.
Okay. Yes.
I'm Isaac Mara. I'm an analyst with New Vision. And my question centers on insecurity in California. In your report, Honorable Minister, you have mentioned the over 15,000 cargo recovered, but others were stolen for food. Then some also rifles recovered, 488, and other rounds of ammunition recovered. And for the last 38 years of NRM regime, much as it has handled security and peace in the country, but we have had paranoia as well as the So this time after 38 years of power, what again we have this paranoia region, if they are fight over without peace in their region, and we have to look on for this issue happening. So that will also be here and there. So we are getting hands here and there, but there is no consistent system to have these people have lasting peace such that they can invest. So what next from the government?
Have you ever heard of the word called capacity?
Yes, I have had some.
Well, this is there before I was born.
Yes, it was.
Is it there when I am?
Yes.
And who says it won't be there when I'm dead? do, so to be, movement and so forth, disarm the Karamatogu. We disarm. But now we are never the proposal disarm. Now we are never the proposal disarm. Well, we are never the proposal disarm. So we take away the arms, but the arms the place. We don't have a massive number of
we say that marks the end of the Q&A session. So, Honorable Minister and Honorable Minister of State and your team, allow me once again to thank you for your time and for the response. First of all, the sharing with the country the achievements that have been registered in this ministry, but also the responses in terms of giving clarifications on issues that were raised here. So I want now to declare this session officially closed, and I want to invite you to raise for the anthems in a reverse order. Honorable Minister, after here, we invite you for a photo opportunity outside here, and then we call it a day. I thank you. Thank you very much.